Exposure to traumatic events can lead to post-traumatic stress disorder, and there's been quite a lot in the press about that lately. It can be quite debilitating. Several recent developments in the trauma field have led to significant changes in how PTSD is diagnosed and treated. Martin Seligman has done some significant work in this area and has found from his research that people who had experienced particularly awful situations could experience what's called post-traumatic growth. He found that with the right support and a good process, trauma doesn't need to flatten us forever. And Martin Seligman's been offering this type of support to the US Army since 2009 via his Master Resilience Training. Now, I'm not an expert in the PTSD space, and if you're interested, you can read more about his program in his book called Flourish. But I did want to give you a snapshot of the Master Resilience Training in case any of it's useful for you right now. The Master Resilience Training focuses on 5 key areas, and the first one is building mental toughness. They use a range of techniques to tap into and reality check beliefs and thinking, and to learn mastery of thinking, because it's your thinking that drives emotions and behaviour. The next strategy in the program is to help soldiers fight catastrophic thoughts in real time. After a trauma, it can be easy to get trapped by catastrophic thinking, which is constantly imagining and reliving the worst. And this can be a thinking habit that people who haven't experienced trauma can get stuck into, and it can be a real source of stress. So to overcome this, soldiers are taught to follow 3 steps. And the first one is to gather evidence, to check if the evidence backed up what they are thinking about a situation. So, for example, if they were imagining that their partner was going to leave them while they're away on duty, some evidence gathering included things like the fact that their partner had always replied to emails in the past, and that because of their location overseas, it usually took some time to hear back. The next step was to apply optimistic thinking, which means choosing the most positive lens to see the situation instead of the most catastrophic. So this could include focusing on how good it will be to hear news from home when the email does arrive. And the third step was about perspective. So to gain perspective, soldiers were encouraged to consider 3 things: the worst case, the best case, and the most likely case. So the worst case in our example might have been that their partner was with someone else. And the best case might have been that their partner consistently shows their commitment to them. And the most likely case could have been something like, my partner's busy with the kids and their family and friends who are an important part of their support network. So this approach doesn't assume that you replace every negative thought with a positive one. It's designed as a stopgap to short-circuit catastrophic thinking so that a person can stay resourceful and not be overwhelmed by catastrophic thinking. Another strategy in the Master Resilience Training is to hunt the good stuff. So soldiers were encouraged to keep a gratitude journal and each morning to write down 3 good things that had happened the day before. To start with, the soldiers tend to focus on what was happening to them at work. But over time, their good stuff also included details about personal events like phone calls home to their family and the good things that were happening there. And they found that they had started to listen more actively and pay more attention to positive experiences, which improved their relationships and their positive emotions. And the 4th pillar of the program is to use character strengths. Participants in the program, they filled out the VIA character strengths. You might have heard that through our Great Managers program. It's free online if anyone else is interested in doing that, because there's strong research that shows that when people know and use their strengths, they perform much better in all areas of our life. And for our Great Managers members, you might want to check out our masterclass on strengths as well. The final pillar of the Master Resilience Training was building strong relationships. Now, as you can imagine, personal and professional relationships are a source of a lot of challenges for people in the military. They're challenges for us in most workplaces as well. The goal of the training was to provide practical tools to build relationships and challenge the beliefs that might get in the way of positive communication. Strong relationships are important for all of us. Sheryl Sandberg in Option B talks about how important strong relationships are in helping us recover from setbacks. We are hardwired to connect with others, but when we're struggling, we can often pull away from others rather than connect in or ask for help. Now, in terms of results from this master resilience training, since 2009, hundreds of thousands of US soldiers have completed the program, and a 2013 evaluation showed that the program had resulted in a reduction in the rates of mental health issues and also a reduction in the PTSD symptoms amongst soldiers, which was really great. So, in a tough environment like the military, these are some pretty powerful results for them. And these show that we can really work on our ability to recover, even from the toughest sorts of setbacks.